All right, so I'm gonna try to be less long-winded with these. I get on little tangents a lot. I get all fired up about this shit. But I just want to talk about today. I see this a lot in the fitness industry, but I see this a lot in just life as well. Uh, People shooting down uh, other other methodologies or thoughts that don't align with what they're doing, what their goal is. So points I want to make with this: no training methodology. I'm gonna go into detail with these. No training methodology is better than another one. If it helps your goal, then it's good for you. And you can't shoot something down unless you trained with it for an extended period of time and exclusively. All right, so first thing, no training methodology is better than that one. This is a conversation I had with somebody uh, at my gym recently. And for instance, I'll give you a backstory. So I've been training with something for about the past 6 months now. I can't remember exactly how long. I have to look at my journal, my training log. But I've been training with something called the Texas Method. This is something that was popularized by Mark Ripito and Glenn Pinley down at the Wichita Falls Barbell Club in Wichita Falls, Texas. And it was pretty much designed out of it kind of happened out of the training for Olympic lifters. So those guys really need to build up their back squats. That'll help them a ton with what they can do with their Olympic lifts. Uh, so it's obviously designed to help drive your back squat strength forward. And I wanted to use that because I'm not a very good squatter. I never have been. Obviously, I just ran this, so I'm a little bit better now, but I'm still not, I wouldn't say I'm a great squatter. I'm just better than I was before. But I'm not great at it compared to my other lifts, my overhead press, bench press, deadlift. Uh, so I really wanted to work on that. And then he runs something that's called the conjugate method. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It's been popularized. People call it the West Side method. It's conjugated periodization, to be specific. But he runs that system, and that system's a little bit different. Kind of drives progress forward slowly on all the main lifts. Uh, but I really wanted to focus on my barbell back squat because I'm not really good at it. Uh, but basically, he was like, "Oh, well, you don't want to be a one-trick pony." Well, well, am I a one-trick pony if I'm already good at bench pressing and good at deadlifting, but I'm terrible at squatting? You know, logic would say you probably want to focus on that a little bit because you're already pretty good at the other ones. You want to work on what your weakness is. Uh, so basically, and obviously, there's tons of different systems out there. So you know, people have different opinions. Even the best coaches in the world disagree on things. Uh, I would say, I would say Mark Ripito is considered one of the best coaches of the barbell lifts in the world. He disagrees with a lot of things that Louis Simmons says, and Mark Bell, another great coach. Jim Wendler, all these guys are great coaches. Dave Tate, all these guys are great coaches, but they disagree on a lot of things. Does that make any of them wrong? No, they just have different opinions. And the big thing is, I find this a lot. People shoot down different methodologies and stuff, uh, but they don't. They might not. What somebody else is doing might not align with what their goal is. So my goal is to run a mile really fast. I'm gonna need to go out and run quite a bit. But somebody else's goal is to be able to bench press 225 pounds. We have different goals, so we're gonna be doing different things. Does that make what either one of us is doing superior or inferior to the other one? No, because we're trying to do different things. And even with strength exercises, people are trying to do different things. Uh, if where you go wrong is if what you're doing doesn't align with your goals, it doesn't really match up. Say you want to have a super low body fat percentage, but then you're eating like pizza and ice cream every night. That's not that smart, really. I think you probably know that too if you're doing it. That's probably not the smartest thing in the world. Uh, and also, and now thirdly, you can't shoot something down unless you train with it extensively. I hear that, I hear constantly hear people shooting down different training thoughts. Like say, somebody that trains exclusively with body weight shooting down what a powerlifter is doing, or a powerlifter shooting down what shooting down what a bodybuilder is doing, or the list goes on. Uh, you can't shoot something down unless you've trained with it exclusively. Exclusively, that's an important point to make, and extensively. And I'll explain both of those, my reason behind both of those. Exclusively because if you're doing a bunch of different things at once, you can't tell what's helping you and you can't tell what's hurting you. You just don't know. And extensively because you need to experience the adaptation that comes with actually training extensively with something, because it takes time for your body to adapt, to react to these things, for you to see changes, to figure out things. All right, so basically time periods. Unless you have to train exclusively with a certain thing. So let's say kettlebells. I'm training exclusively with kettlebells right now. I've never done it before, so I want to be able to see if it works for me, see if it doesn't work for me. Unless you've trained for something with something for at least 3 to 6 months, then you can't have an opinion about that training. You can't, because you haven't experienced it. You don't know. And that's okay, but you can't shoot it down because you don't know what it's about. 9 to 12 months, now you can have what I would consider a valid opinion, because you've been trained with that exclusively for a greater amount of time. So, unless you've done those two things, then you can't really have an educated opinion about something. That's like somebody that is, I'm not a lawyer, that would be like me going up to a lawyer and arguing law with them, arguing something about whatever law they practice. How do you think that's going to go? One, I'm just going to look really stupid. Not that I don't do that already. But two, they actually have experience doing it. That's like, somebody that's not a doctor arguing, or not, that's somebody that's not a surgeon. So that's like me going up to a surgeon and arguing with them about how they did their incision slice. How the fuck would I know if that's the right way to do an incision? That just doesn't make any sense, because they've experienced it. They've been doing that for years and years and years, obviously. So they know, they've experienced. So you have to go and actually experience it before you can have an actual opinion of if it works, if it doesn't work, if it kind of works, or if it just hurts you. All right, thanks for watching.